everyone! Before we dive into art, I just want to acknowledge something that's happening. There's a super typhoon bearing down on our country right now. We're all hunkered down as it is, and it's already caused significant damage in a lot of parts in our country. Super typhoons are unfortunately common here, but they're still incredibly scary and difficult to prepare for. And this one in particular is bringing strong winds, which can be devastating to farmlands, plantations, and even homes. My heart goes out to everyone. 1 million people have been evacuated because of the typhoon, and I think 2 people have been killed so far. I'm keeping my prayers for those who have been affected. My parents are also in the province, so I am keeping in touch with them and getting updates. To be honest, to take my mind off the worry for a little bit, I wanted to share something that's been a small source of joy lately. I hope it doesn't feel weird or crass to talk about art supplies right now at this time, but I thought filming a video might be a good distraction, and it just feels like a cozy time to be talking to you. So today I want to introduce you to some new art supplies that I've acquired recently, and then I'll show you how I've been using them. Spoiler alert, they're all pencils. I'll talk about them all together since I actually use them in combination for the artwork that I'm going to share. These are the pencils that I got recently. And first up, and my most recent and exciting purchase, are these open stock Derwent drawing pencils. I was absolutely thrilled to find individual pencils from this line because I wasn't ready to commit to a whole set. They're very expensive right now, although I saw on Amazon that they did have a sale. So a 24 set that used to be $79 is now 52 or $54. So if you're on the lookout, well, there you go. And I also saw that on Blick's website, the 72 set is 150 something dollars from 200 something dollars. So that is a big discount. However, they are out of stock and you'd have to get in line for when they arrive on December 31st. That is for US and Canada residents, I think. Yeah, and it's not available where I live. There's nowhere to buy them at this moment, but that's all right. Um, some vendors are selling like the up to the 24 set, but I really just wanted to get my hands on them and then try them because I've never heard of drawing pencils before. I only know like graphite pencils for sketching. So these are an eye opener, to be honest. And actually, I discovered the Derwent drawing pencils from when YouTube algorithm blessed me with Jess Pichard's YouTube video where she talked about how she collaborated with Derwent and she was chosen as the artist for the 72 tin set. And she shared her whole process, the whole journey from the conception to the launch of the product, and it was so amazing. And since then, I've been so curious about them, and I've seen a few colorists incorporating them into their work. So I grabbed these specific shades. Let me show you so I could try them out. So these are the shades that I have. Let's go to the top here. So we have the Mars Violet 6470. Then we have the, I always have trouble distinguishing the colors because they're so close to each other. The Pale Cedar, which is this one. Actually, I think, yeah, Pale Cedar. And then we have the Crag Green, which is the greenest shade. And then the Green Shadow. And the Cool Gray. And Ink Blue. So I'll put them up close here. So those are the shades that I got. And I was a little disappointed at first because I had picked colors that are so close to each other. These these four colors, including the gray. Like if I'm holding them out like this, you're not going to be able to tell which ones are which, right? Or even the barrel, not easily. So, yeah, they're so close to each other. Even the cool gray has a bit of a greenish tint to it. But I'm confident that, well, I will show you later, but I changed my mind about that later once I've had a chance to really practice with them. And then back in August, I found myself at a Faber-Castell store, a physical store, and they were having a buy three, no, buy two, get one free. And so I came out with six. This is the Albrecht Durer pencils. So I walked out with six of them. These are the shades that I picked up. Oh, not Albrecht Durer. Um, and yeah, I've been equally curious about these pens for a while. People have been raving about them, and naturally, I picked them open stock because they're also quite pricey. And I really recommend that if you're curious about an art supply, to like try the small set first, try one pencil to see how you like them. Um, and then finally, and these are the shades that I got, by the way, for the Albrecht Durers. So I've got the, oh wait, this pencil is the Museum Aquarelle from Caran d'Ache, and yeah, I got this only one pencil in the shade lemon yellow, and you can see that it's all banged up. That's from the store. I didn't do that, so yeah, maybe it's been there for a while, and I'm the only one who picked it up. So this is the color for the lemon yellow. This is a watercolor pencil from Caran d'Ache. I haven't actually tried to use it with water. Why don't we do it right now? Hold on. Yeah, so let's activate the watercolor pencils with water just to see how they look. This is the Museum Aquarelle Lemon Yellow, activated with water. And then I got the Juniper Green. These are all Albrecht Durers now. This is the Juniper Green. This is the Chrome Oxide. And this is Cobalt Green. This is Dark Naples Orange. Warm Gray. And then Caput Mortuum Violet. So to get a feel for these pencils, I did a small drawing. And full disclosure, I'm still figuring out how to use them. They're quite blunt, and the barrel is thick. So I'm talking about the drawing pencils. And this is a watercolor sketch pad, so it has a lot of tooth. And so I read that it's not ideal for these pencils. The best paper for these pencils are the Bristol vellum or anything that has a smoother surface. Um, so I went ahead and got a smoother paper. I picked up this paper months ago, but I haven't tried them yet. Um, and these are meant for oil pastels, but the paper is smoother. Yeah, a lot smoother. And you can use them both sides, I think. Yeah. So let's do a few small drawings together, and then I'll show you how I've incorporated them into my coloring. I was actually quite nervous to do these drawings in camera. I started with a tulip because I wanted to see how these colors would perform on a light colored subject. I used all these new pencils together, but I was particularly curious about the Derwent drawing pencils. I used the cool gray color to outline my drawing. The Derwent drawing pencils are incredibly creamy, soft, and super pigmented. Their large barrel makes it easy to cover white areas quickly. What's amazing is how lightly you can apply them to create a much softer, lighter shade, and you can literally shade by barely touching the paper. The Albrecht Durer pencils were also soft, especially compared to polychromos, but not too soft. I used them dry on this illustration and on all my illustrations that I'm going to show you, but of course they can be activated with water. I just wanted an all pencil picture for my demonstration in this video. I did have to bring in some colors from my polychromos and color sets to round out the palette. Those two are a joy to use on any paper. They cover the white of the page beautifully and feel easier to control than the Albrecht Durer and drawing pencils. It's because their leads are harder and they're lighter weight. The drawing pencils are surprisingly heavy. I actually gave up on my regular sharpener and resorted to a craft knife, or this time it's a cutter, to sharpen them, which definitely helped with my frustration. The new shades truly make a difference. I simply can't achieve these unique shades in my existing collection. They really shine when it comes to landscape and nature drawings. And if you've watched my channel, you'll know that I like painting and coloring landscapes and nature. And now, I can draw them too. Even though the shades are close together, each of them is apparently essential, and they aren't interchangeable with each other. I even realized that the same shades of the Derwent drawing pencils that I thought I already had in my stash and I didn't need to buy, I actually don't have, and I found myself wishing that I had bought them. So after practicing, now I'm ready to use them on a coloring book. I picked this page from Mythomorphia, and this page in particular is just calling for a background. She looks like a woodland, she or he looks like a woodland spirit or some kind of god or goddess and there's lots of fairies around, so I'm thinking like lush enchanted forest with a waterfall. So technically it's still drawing and not coloring because I am creating a whole new background. But yeah, well, as I'm working on this page, I wanted to share a little about a YouTuber that's bringing me joy and someone who's inspiring me, the Frugal Crafter, Lindsay Wyrich. I probably butchered her last name, I'm so sorry, but you probably know who she is, right? If you don't, I'll link her YouTube channel below. Well, what I like about her is that she looks for low-priced items or low-priced alternatives to high-end art supplies for people who, are on a budget. And I usually watch her reviews of cheap art supplies that I'm curious about. And I like that she's always so happy and bubbly, and at the same time, she can be serious and honest about her reviews. So anyway, I was watching her flip through a completed sketchbook, and then honestly, it just clicked for me. You know how some YouTube videos just spark something within you? Like when you're watching other artists create, and then it makes you want to put down the phone and pick up a brush yourself. That's exactly what happened, except that it made me want to pick up a pencil. So I finally tested out these pencils that I've had for a while. To be completely honest, while coloring can be fun, there's a different kind of magic in creating your own art. Don't get me wrong, I totally appreciate the talent behind coloring book illustrators or illustrations, but the feeling of creating something and bringing something entirely new into existence from your own mind and hand, that's pure satisfaction. It's why I get such a kick out of altering coloring pages. It's my way of making them uniquely mine. Now, I'm going to be real. It's November, and looking back at my art goals for the year, I can't help but feel a little disappointed with what I've achieved. Part of the problem, I think, is that I got a bit carried away with buying all the art supplies. It's hard to master one thing when you have a mountain of options. I wanted to be an expert with my gouache supplies, and it has become a staple in most of my coloring pages. But deep down, I crave painting more with them, not just coloring. And I know the reason I don't color or paint as much is because part of me is definitely afraid of failure, and it feels so much safer to and easier to succeed with coloring. And then there's life. How many of you fellow artists out there are also navigating the wonderful, chaotic world of toddlers? They truly become your most demanding, adorable bosses, and they take up all of your time. And by the end of the day, honestly, I'm just exhausted. The motivation sometimes feels like it's packed up and moved to a different continent. But here's the thing. Every time I feel that spark of inspiration, like watching Lindsay's sketchbook flip through, it reminds me of my dream future self. It reminds me that every little experiment, every stroke, even the failed pictures, are all part of the journey. And maybe right now it's not being an expert at any specific medium, but it's about embracing just creating. And even in the messy, time constrained, wonderfully imperfect moments of life, the fact that that is your biggest problem, it's just a blessing. I really enjoyed myself doing this background with all the pencils that I used. I learned that the Derwent drawing pencils are great on their own, but when you layer them over other colors, regardless of brand, you get a whole new shade that's just so beautiful and rich. You can also use them to tone down other colors, to darken other colors by layering these muted shades. And they work with any pencil that I've tried. On smooth paper like the Kirby books, they work great. The icing on the cake was adding to finishing touches. So I added flowers, some more leaves, and just accents around. And I used acrylic markers for that. Really apologize that I wasn't able to record that part, but anyway, here is the final background. I think it's very ethereal and enchanted, so that's what I was going for with this background, an enchanted forest. I don't have any ideas yet for the main image, so we'll leave this page like this for now. I'm super excited to have these pencils in my collection, especially the drawing pencils. I will definitely use them in nature-themed coloring pages, and they also make me want to draw more. And if you're not into soft colors, muted colors, nature, or animal drawings, I don't think that you need these pencils in your collection. I mean, sure, you can use them, incorporate them in your colorings. They have very unique shades that will really enhance your coloring. But if you don't have them, you're not losing anything. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video and our little drawing session I'm very happy to be able to draw today on this cozy morning with the typhoon. My heart is heavy because of all the damages that the typhoon has caused. Um, I hope it doesn't cause any more major damages and injuries. I hope you are safe wherever you are. Take care and happy coloring. Bye.